Okay, this is going to be a very quick video, but basically we've talked about two forms of quadratics. We talked about the factored form and the standard form, and we want to know how to convert between these two forms. So this video is going to be specifically on converting from factored form to standard form. So the topic, okay, converting from factored form to standard form. Converting from factored form to standard form. All right. And the objective in this case is pretty much the same thing as the topic. Okay, we should be able to convert to standard form from factored form. So as we learn about different forms of quadratic equations, we should know how to go between them. Go from factored form to standard form to factored form, and any other forms we end up learning. To standard form from factored form. Okay, so this is going to be pretty straightforward. So let's just look at factored form. And let's look at standard form. Okay, and we'll look at each one and then we'll just talk about how to get from one to the other. So in factored form, we have y equals some a times x minus some 0 squared. I always want to do that, but it's not squared, sorry. Times x minus another thing. So y equals a, x minus 1, 0, x minus another 0. I'll just remind us, this is 0, 1, and this is 0, 2. That's factored form. Standard form is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So the question is, how do we get from factored form to standard form? That's what we're trying to figure out. All right, and the answer is we multiply. That's how you get from factored form to standard form. So let's look at an example here. So let's say we have y is equal to 3 times x minus 2 times x plus 4. Okay, that would be a quadratic equation in factored form. And as I've mentioned before, we have two x's that we multiplied together, and that's how we know it's a quadratic equation. If you have two x's multiplied together, then you end up with an x squared term, which is what makes it a quadratic equation. And also will take the form of a parabola. All right, so we have two zeros here. I'm going to identify my zeros. I got 0, 1, and I have 0, 2. Okay, I have two zeros. This 0 is going to be the opposite of what I see. So it's positive 2. This is going to be the opposite of what I see. So it's negative 4. So this form is nice because it gives us information about the zeros. I know my two zeros. Now, to make it into standard form, all we're going to do is multiply it out. So it equals 3 times, and now we're going to multiply this out. And so I am going to take the first times the first. So it's x times x. And I'm going to take the x times the 4. So plus 4x, and then the negative 2 times the x, so minus 2x. And then finally the negative 2 times the positive 4, minus 8. All right, so first step is you just multiply out the two binomials, which we've done many times, so that shouldn't be too bad. And now let's simplify it a little bit. So I get x squared plus 4x minus 2x minus 8. Okay, and we have a like term in here. We have 4x and 2x are like terms. Let's go ahead and simplify that. So I get equals 3x squared, and 4x minus 2x is 2x minus 8. Okay, and as I recall from our factoring unit, to factor, we'd go backwards from the step we just did. We would go backwards and we'd be able to factor that. All right, and now we just distribute. Take the 3 and distribute times the terms on the inside, which is what we do when we have a number on the outside and multiple terms added together on the inside of parentheses. We distribute. So you get 3x squared plus 6x, and 3 times 8 is 24. And that's it. That's what you do. You just multiply out the factored form and you get it into standard form. Notice that this is standard form. Notice that we have an A, we have a B, and we have a C. Okay. And notice that A is equal to 3, and from the beginning, the coefficient in front of the factor form was also 3. And that's why we call this A, because that number is going to be the same as this number. Those two A's will match up. All right, very good. As long as you have it in this form, those two A's should match up. All right, very good. So it's a short video just to show you how to get from factored form to standard form. And the answer is you just multiply it out. Okay, very good. Write a 2 to 3 sentence summary of what you learned. Thanks for listening. Thanks for learning.